guys are here again because we got to there you go, Jonathan Carey, not Jonathan Carey, I mean Stephen Noonan's first Doctor of Any Fugitive Daleks. This was freaking awesome. Oh my god, awesome. The only thing I don't like about it is the cover, which is kind of like the identity for this range. So I like they have a visual identity. For me, it's not really working, right? I think they should have gone for something more like hyper-realistic, like Alistair Pearson sort of thing, or a Dave McKean kind of feel, right? This just seems, I don't know. Look, for me, it doesn't work at all, right? It doesn't work at all. What does work is the story. Well, firstly, the Stephen Noonan's Doctor is so insanely well observed. They keep even about how much work he puts into it, and oh boy, does it show! Right? He does a William Hartnell laugh, and it is just it is the essence of Hartnell. It's so bizarre, right? Now it doesn't sound overly like Hartnell. It doesn't sound not like him, but it sounds no less than Hartnell than Richard Hundell or what's he called again? David Bradley sounded, right? And it's certainly his own. I'll be kind of intrigued that the AI voice generators now, you can put a audio file in, and it then converts it to you can convert that to a different voice. I would love if they had William Hartnell voice samples. I'm sure they do, right? And fed in Stephen Noonan's performance, and hopefully it would retain that performance while changing the voice to be completely William Hartnell. So the other thing is, this also feels very authentically season 2 Doctor Who, right? Really, it fits. And season 2 had a very interesting changing shape, right, of Doctor Who, but this fits seamlessly into season 2. Even with the old Vicky, there's one section in it that didn't really, but I try and imagine. You can imagine this in two ways when you listen to it. Either like it's a lost story from that era, or something new and modern, right? You could really go either way with it. What I did like about this, what I've been saying all freaking stream, each episode had a story, had a beginning, middle, and end, right? It was really good. It was really good for that, right? It was really very good for that. So it starts off, you have old Vicky at Troy, I guess, wherever she was left off. Her husband's died, and yeah, she's basically done with life, right? And then her grandkids said the Blue Temple that you talked about had just arrived. And she wanders into it and is whisked off on adventures. And she meets up with the First Doctor. Old Vicky with the First Doctor works very well, right? It works very, very well. And it's soon. One thing they should have done, I thought they'd do a synopsis for each episode, because each episode is its own little story. It's very similar in structure to The Chase, and it's very much a direct sequel to The Chase. There's a twist you find out at the end of episode 4, which is so freaking obvious. I don't want to spoil it, but it's so freaking obvious, right? But Stephen Noonan does a very, very good job with it. What's the name? Shows up at episode 3 or 4. I think it's episode 4. Dodo, as played by Lauren Cornelius. I tell you, the one thing I missed about this is the First Doctor Dodo companion, the Stephen Noonan, Lauren Cornelius Doctor companion, because that is such a real proto essential Doctor companion pairing, right? It's worth into the older box sets because of that, right? It's really, really excellent, right? I think it's really genuinely excellent. If I was the artist who did the cover, I would offer to do a fresh cover for the download version for the first box set. So you had continuity. I would offer them that. Anyway, so each episode has its own little mini story. Like there's one episode where they end up with Custer's last stand. And pretty soon on, you find out they're being... firstly, the doc doesn't really know how he got there, what's going on. We don't know where Dodo is. He doesn't mention Dodo. And there's a lot of things the Doctor doesn't really realize, which seems a bit strange. They're being chased by the Daleks again, but right out of the chase, right? It's probably the same Dalek squad, but it seemed to be. And again, the Daleks have distinct personalities and different, I think, very good job done there, right? Really, really excellent job done there. Again, it's very hard to talk about without spoiling it. But like when the shock revelation happens, you're not sure what really happened to the Doctor. He vanished from the TARDIS at the end of the last episode, the last box set, and when you finally get back to that storyline and find out where he is, that's very clever, right? And also, again, it's incredible. You can kind of just from Stephen Noonan's performance, you can hear that twinkle, right? That little twinkle in the first Doctor's eye, especially the season 2 Doctor, right? When it wasn't Susan, Ian, and Barbara anymore, he sort of moved on, and he definitely lightened up. So yeah, there was much of it that I very much enjoyed. For me, this was very authentic Doctor Who. If you like this era, really worth checking out, right? Really, 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 definitely worth checking out. I wish they had a synopsis for each story, right? For each episode, because it was really good. Like, again, I love that they all had their own kind of like mini story. The first episode was, let me think. The first episode they turned up at Troy, and it was a mystery of what the Doctor's going on, what's happening with the Doctor and what's going on the time. There was a room where the monster was in, and they trapped it in, but they couldn't take it out. They couldn't let it out. Then the second episode was a really interesting little episode about this lost space station, right, where people have been on it for a long time. It turned out. A lot of this box set is what happens when when androids or robots or duplicates don't know that they're androids, duplicates, or robots, right? That was an ongoing narrative throughout. But yeah, so essentially, there's this big twist that again I found very, very obvious. After it happens, you get some really lovely character development from the Doctor, right? There's several different representations of it, but you've got some really lovely, interesting character development that works both as the character that is that the twist reveals it to be, and also as a character that is the first Doctor. It's very, very traditionally the first Doctor. So as I said, at the end of this last box set, the Doctor gets sucked out the TARDIS, right? And a lot of that's dealing with it. But you don't resolve what's really going on with that. So there was all the doom and gloom recently, spread by me, right? Because I totally believed it. 100% totally believed it, that the Big Finish were on their knees. Well, they announced a whole bunch of new projects, so probably not, right? They're probably doing okay. I don't think it's been recorded yet, but it's definitely written and ready to go. The next volume of that, which deals with that arc, right? Which deals with that whole little series. I think so anyway, unless it goes longer. Jonathan Morris again did the script, excellent work. Production credits, directed Nicholas Briggs. Yeah, you can tell, right? You could really genuinely tell. Jonathan Morris right here did an excellent job. Here, let's look at the trailer. Second share screen. Video file.
Grandmother Cressida!
Antivers!
I thought you should know.
Like a bit of AI being deployed in this one.
About the temple in the Olive Grove.
But there isn't a temple in the Olive Grove.
There is now. It's a small blue building.
Is this all taken from the Blu-ray? Not him, but the Blu-ray. Maybe he is as well. promo that she was in.
Thing made of wood.
The TARDIS? After all these years?
You must help me
Help you?
before it is too late.
All of time and space. Here we go again.
Welcome to Perpetuity Station.
And you have medical facilities here?
Naturally.
The
It would actually be better if they did this more of a pastiche of the original, but I guess you can imagine it as like widescreen modern as well.
pilot of my ship. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's very ill.
Another materialization. This time in the crew deck.
I hoped I'd never see them again. The Daleks.
The Doctor must be captured. Seek, locate.
The time curve indicator is clear.
So the Daleks aren't behind us?
No, not yet.
I do like that they recreate the chase space background of this, and also the Dalek time ship.
Bows and arrows and rifles.
We must be in North America at a point before the 20th century.
What in the name of old Sam are you?
You will obey the Dalek.
Oh, this was it sounded like it'll be stupid, but it was really good. 1960s Daleks with cowboys and during Custer's last stand. And for a reason that I will not go into, the Daleks aren't allowed to kill anyone. It's really good, the Daleks. That's what the PD wrote, you're right.
X or die. Supreme, the enemy time machine has materialized.
We are all in desperate danger.
It's really good. Okay, they should have more Stephen Noonan in it, but that trailer did it was actually worth it, right? It represented what it was. Yeah, so that's a recommend, right? My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.